All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Bolton Academy's Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For members of the Go Team, please identify yourself when you speak. I am pleased to call this meeting of the Bolton Academy's Go Team in order at 5:04 p.m. Our first order of business is to roll call. The interim secretary for today's meeting will now take the roll.
Great. Please respond present when your name is called. Siobhan Mincy.
Present.
Sandy White.
Present.
Lakeitha Carlos.
Here.
Chandra Gibson.
I'm present, but I'm not on the official roster. So you're just using the official roster.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Haiti Romero.
Present.
Whitney Bates.
Present, and it's Whitney Bates Gomez.
Bates Gomez. Thank you for that.
Yes, sure.
One moment. Daryl Stewart. Thank you. That's all I have on the official roster.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There are two more. My apologies.
Okay.
Mr. Damani Fisher. Natalie Malkoff.
Yes, I'm here.
And there we're done.
The team will only be able to take official action if a quorum is present. And the quorum is half of our members plus one, which will be 5. Ms. Fanning, is there a quorum present? I'm not included.
Yes, there is a quorum present.
Okay. Thank you. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you via email. Are there any changes? And I can pull up the agenda as well. I'm trying to move this little thing out of the way. Are there any changes to the agenda? May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve.
A second?
I second.
All in favor, please say aye so the secretary can record your vote.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. Okay. Next, we will review and approve the meeting minutes from the last Go Team meeting, and the meeting minutes were provided to you via email. And these are the, let's see. These are the meeting minutes that were sent to you via email. Are there any corrections?
Yes, I have a correction. My name is misspelled.
Okay. And can you give the correction to Ms. Fanning and she will make the corrections?
Yes. It's Miss Fanning. It's on the first page where the role is called. It has SA instead of LA.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other corrections? If there are no
It's
further,
Natalie Malcolm. Sorry, I'm not sure if I see my name on there. I don't see it.
this is for the last meeting.
I'm sorry.
Okay. If there are no further corrections, may I have a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes?
So moved.
Oh, so moved. Okay, sorry. All in favor, say, oh, a second.
I second.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. We will now move to the discussion items. I feel like I'm missing something. Okay. We will now move to the discussion items. Our first discussion item is the election of officers. Each officer will be elected from the voting Go Team members at the first meeting of each new school fiscal year for APS. Non-voting members, which is the principal and students, may not serve in any officer position. Each officer will serve a term of 1 year and may be eligible for one additional term of 1 year in the same office. Each officer will serve until a successor is selected and qualified, or until said officer resigns or is removed from office. No officer may hold more than one position at the same time. Only one Go Team member may occupy an officer position at any time. And so the officers that we need to elect are chair, vice chair, secretary, and cluster representative. Ms. Gibson, is there a script, because I did not see it in the handbook, for the election process?
Yep, there's a script for the whole meeting. I was just texting you that because I don't think, did you guys fill your vacant seat?
We did not. And I put on, we'll have to table it because I do not have a recommendation for a community member person.
Okay, and what about your vacant staff seat?
My vacant staff is Sandy White. So the-
Did you guys vote on? Did you all vote on that?
We did not. So the meeting script that I have, I do not see.
Hold on, let me forward it to you because I think you just have the general meeting script and you need the first meeting script.
Okay. And can you forward it to my personal email because it's ShavonMincy@gmail.com. Okay, we will now move to filling vacant seats and the open community seat. Before we begin the process, I'd like to remind the Go Team of the following. The principal brings forward the nominations for the vacant and open community seats. All Go Team members have only one vote per seat. Individuals, sorry. Individuals filling a vacant seat will serve until the conclusion of that seat's term. Individuals filling an open seat will serve for the full 2-year term. Upon approval, individuals are immediately full Go Team members and may join the meeting. We will now begin by filling our vacant seats. These are seats which have been vacated prior to the end of the term. I have the following nominations for our Go Team's vacant seats and my rationale for their nomination. So Ms. Topper received the promotion and she was on our Go Team and as a staff person. And so she was the instructional coach. And I am recommending Sandy White to replace Ms. Topper as a Go Team member representing the staff. And he is also the instructional coach. I do not have a recommendation for our community chair. Our community person was Marie from Agape, and I have asked her to give me a suggestion on who else from Agape could represent because she has reached her term. But if in the meantime, in between our next meeting, if anyone has a recommendation that they would like me to consider for community, please send me an email. We will now proceed to votes. Well, does anyone have any comments about Sandy White at this time? Okay. We will now proceed to vote on the nomination of Sandy White for the position of Go Team member for staff. All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions, please say abstain. Ms. Fanning, did you catch everybody? Awesome. We will now move on. We will now move to electing Go Team officers. Before we begin the nominations, I'd like to remind the Go Team of the following. Nominations do not have to be seconded. A member may nominate themselves. A member may nominate more than one person for any position. A member may decline a nomination during the nomination process. Members may not serve more than 2 consecutive terms in the same officer positions at the same school. Nominees do not have to leave the room during the, well, sorry, we're not doing that. If there's more than one nominee per elected office, each nominee will be offered an opportunity to share why they should be elected to the seats. The newly elected officers will assume their position starting at the conclusion of this meeting and serve for 1 year or until a new officer is elected. All voting members have only 1 vote per seat. First, we will elect the Go Team's chair. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the chair include, but are not limited to, leading Go Team meetings, working with the principal and Go Team to develop meeting agendas, ensuring every Go Team member has an opportunity to be heard, monitoring team compliance. I will now open the floor to receive chair nominations.
I nominate Mrs. Carlos as chair.
Happy birthday, Ms. Carlos.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I'm like, who said that?
Would any of the nominees like to decline the nomination?
Is there anyone else who is interested in the nomination?
If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have 1 person being considered for the chair seat. The nomination for chair is Lakeitha Carlos. At this time, I will offer each chair nominee an opportunity.
I need to hear less of the thumping and slapping sound. What is that?
There we go. I got nervous. I was reading the script, folks. At this time, I will offer each chair nominee an opportunity to explain why they are the best candidate for the position. Other Go Team members may ask the nominees questions before voting.
Is that me? Should I be saying something right now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure. I didn't, my little screen didn't flash up who made that nomination.
Ms. Fanning.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Fanning. I love the faith that you have in me. I'm not entirely certain about what that entails. But I know that if it is, making sure that our meetings are run according to the rules and policy and how that should work, then I am fine with doing so. So I will accept that nomination and hope to be able to provide this service to Bolton.
Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Carlos? Mrs. Carlos? Please raise your hand to vote for your choice for chair of our Go Team. All in favor for Lakeitha Carlos? Thank you. Any abstentions? Please abstain or raise your hand. Ms. Romero, that was a vote. No, okay. Good.
It was a vote, sorry.
Congratulations, Lakeitha Carlos. You will serve as the Go Team chair for this school year. Happy birthday.
Right, thank you. Thanks, guys. The gift that keeps on giving.
Now we will elect the Go Team's vice chair. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the vice chair include, but are not limited to, ensuring the Go Team follows parliamentary procedure, working with the principal and chair to develop meeting agendas, acting as chair if the chair is not present. I will now open the floor to receive vice chair nominations.
I would like to nominate Christina Fanning.
If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the vice chair seat. The nomination for vice chair is Christina Fanning. At this time, I will offer each vice chair nominee an opportunity to explain why they are the best candidate for the position. Other Go Team members may ask the nominees questions before voting. Ms. Fanning.
Thank you for the nomination. I appreciate to serve Bolton Academy's Go Team in the capacity of Vice Chair to assist Principal Mincy and Chairperson Carlos in the ways that they need in order to meet our work goals for the Go Team and Bolton Academy. I accept the nomination.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Fanning? Please raise your hand to vote for your choice for vice chair of our Go Team. Christina Fanning. Okay. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Okay. Congratulations, Ms. Fanning. You will serve as the Go Team Vice Chair for this school year.
Thank you.
Now we will elect the Go Team Secretary. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the Secretary include, but are not limited to, posting Go Team documents, agendas, summaries, and minutes to the website and at the school, taking minutes at Go Team meetings, ensuring the Go Team is in compliance with Georgia open meeting laws. I will now open the floor to receive Secretary nominations.
I nominate Natalie Mankoff.
Would any of the nominees like to decline the nomination?
I nominate Whitney Bates Gomez.
If there are no further nominations, oh, Ms. Malkoff, are you declining your nomination?
Yeah, I think I'd like to do the cluster representative, and I'll nominate myself for that because I go to those meetings anyway, if that's all right.
Okay. Okay, so Ms. Fanning, please note that Ms. Malkoff at this time is declining the secretary nomination. If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the secretary seat. The nomination for secretary is Whitney Bates Gomez. At this time, I will offer each secretary nominee an opportunity to explain why they are the best candidate for the position. Other Go Team members may ask the nominees questions before voting.
I look forward to learning more about the meeting laws and doing my best to support them as secretary and you know, serving Go Team in this capacity.
Thank you. Please raise your hand to vote for your choice of secretary of our Go Team, Ms. Whitney Bates Gomez. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Congratulations, Whitney Bates Gomez. You will serve as the Go Team Secretary for this school year. Now we will elect the Go Team's cluster representative. Cluster representatives may also hold another officer position as chair, vice chair, or secretary. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the cluster representative include, but are not limited to, attending all cluster advisory team meetings, approximately 3, reporting back to the Go Team on the cluster advisory team meetings. I will now open the floor to receive cluster representative nominations.
I nominate Natalie Malkoff.
Would any of the nominees like to decline the nomination? If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the cluster representative seat. The nomination for cluster representative is Natalie Malkoff. At this time, Ms. Malkoff, you have the opportunity to explain why you're the best candidate for the position. Other Go Team members may ask the nominees questions before voting. Natalie?
Oh, well, I really look forward to representing the school and hearing more about how we fit in with the whole cluster, and hope to represent us well and bring back some great ideas, and also relate what our needs and our successes are to the cluster group.
Please raise your hand to vote for your choice for cluster representative of our Go Team, Natalie Malkoff. Any abstentions, please say abstain or raise your hand. Congratulations, Natalie Malkoff. You will serve as the Go Team cluster representative for this school year. Adhering to the agenda, we will now discuss our meeting calendar for this school year. As a reminder, our Go Team is required to have at least 6 meetings for this school year. For 4 of the meetings.
Principal Mincy, did you guys do your public comment protocol?
No, that's not on the agenda. It should, okay.
Or you can move to table it and do it at the next meeting.
Okay, I move to table the public comment protocol so that we can have time for the rest of the agenda.
I second that motion.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any nays? All right, any abstentions, please say abstain. Okay, so we're going to table the protocol, the public comment protocol for the next meeting. Adhering to the agenda, we will now discuss our meeting calendar for this school year. As a reminder, our Go Team is required to have at least 6 meetings this school year. 4 of the meetings must permit time for public comment. Meetings cannot be held during the instructional day, and meeting location must be places which can accommodate the public, not a conference room. May I have suggestions, recommendations for meeting dates and times? Ms. Gibson, am I allowed to give any context for this?
Sure.
Yes. I think you say yes.
I said sure. Yes, you are.
Okay. So just so you guys know that Mondays really and Fridays are my only days that I can meet. So if you guys want to go with second Mondays, that'll be great. But if you have any other suggestions, that would be great. And Zoom just works very well for me. I do have football, and my son plays football in our neighborhood, which is about 35 minutes, 40 minutes from Bolton Academy.
Is it possible to have Zoom and in person at the same time?
If you guys were coming to my house, how would that?
Oh no, I'm just saying, like, if some people were on Zoom and whoever could meet at the school or whatever, or not maybe at the school, but wherever they.
Okay.
Well, my question would be based off of the time frame that we do that in. So I was just looking at last year's schedule. Last year we met on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. The first Tuesday of the month at 4 p.m., which for me was a great time, but that's just me, and we have a whole new set of folks here, so I recognize that. I think that there is also something to be said for the hour of the day, 4 p.m. versus 5 p.m. I think there's a big difference between that, so there may need to be some conversation on what works, for folks in that time. 4 o'clock is still in the middle of the workday for some. which actually worked well for me because it was the end of the workday. And while I may have been stealing time from my job, it was less on the extracurricular time where I'm shuttling kids and they're still at aftercare until after 5 o'clock. You know, the 5 o'clock hour tends to be difficult. So I know that those are my concerns, but I just wanted to open that up for anybody else who may have some sort of those challenges with the hour of the day, including the day, but the hour of the day.
Yeah, and for me, it's almost the complete opposite. When I do carpool duties, it's usually around 4:30 or so. So I guess I guess that can be a challenge for sure.
Is there, and I recognize, and this is a question that y'all may or may not know the answer to. I don't think there's any like guideline on what time of day this has to be, right? So I recognize we have staff representatives as well. So if we say 9 a.m., then
it has to be on non-instructional.
Well,
it has to be non-instructional time. Okay.
Yeah, non-instructional hours.
Okay.
Is anyone opposed to having it in the morning before school?
Oh, I can't do that.
School starts at 7.
Yeah,
Our
I can't
report
do
time is
that.
7.
Sorry.
All right, never mind.
Forget how early school starts. Okay.
You all could alternate the times, like, you know, maybe do some at 4 and some at 5.
Okay.
If you want
Well,
it.
and generally speaking, in the past, in my experience, meetings have not lasted longer than what, an hour? I know there are other folks who've been here. It's generally not been longer than an hour. So, you know, some of it we just, you know, can kind of make it work, but.
I can do 4 o'clock. Sandy, can others do 4 or 4 via Zoom?
So you're saying Mondays or Fridays, because that's the only time that our principal is available. So if we narrow it down to Mondays and Fridays, we're really talking about, do you want to do Friday at 5 o'clock? I don't think anybody wants to do Friday.
Or 4.
Or 4. I don't think anybody wants to do Friday at 4 o'clock. So we're really talking about Monday. And is there the opportunity, not that I'm asking this, I'm just wondering if there's the opportunity for like a 6 o'clock meeting? Like, I don't know what's better for folks.
Do other people want to chime in? I can do 4, 5, or 6.
I think, sorry.
No worries. Second Monday, 4 o'clock is better for me. 6 o'clock is really, I usually get to the school at 6:30 in the morning. So that's a really long day on that
day. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I think for me, this time is probably ideal if I need to, because even this time is kind of 5 o'clock is even sort of pushing it a little bit, especially if I need to be like taking notes and like documenting things. 4 o'clock, I would probably still be in like a car driving. So I don't know that I would be as useful in that capacity, but 5 o'clock, I usually I should be able to be in front of like a computer, like via Zoom by 5. But again, I can, like, you know, people were saying if people want to sort of alternate, I'm happy to sort of try and be flexible with that.
I can do Monday at 5:30. If you want me to be chair, because I have to be somewhere I have to drop off my child at 5 somewhere. So I would be in the car. Like I would be trying to get to her in the 4 o'clock hour and dropping her off in the 5 o'clock hour, but she's there at 5. So I could do a 5:30 on Monday, or I can do a Friday at 4.
Is anyone opposed to a 7 p.m. late meeting?
Yes, because Miss Fanning's going to bed because she's going to be at school at 6:30.
She would have been ready. No.
Okay.
What if we alternate between the second Monday, 5 and 5:30? And I think with communication, we could coordinate having roles covered or filled in as necessary. And that way we have some degree of flexibility. Because I'm just thinking in terms of, there are a couple of meetings that run a little long, like the working that will come a little bit later. So we might want to consider that in some ways.
So the only challenge that I see with changing the meetings is, and I'll do obviously whatever y'all want, is that it's people tend to forget. And so once you get the one meetings, you know, time, like I will ask the secretary or whomever to send out a calendar request to put it on everybody's calendar so that you just know that the first Monday of the month, it's this time. I'm just afraid that we will get, you know, folks will be confused about what month, you know, it's this month, what time is it this month, that it's different, and then we won't have a quorum. Yeah. So that's the only challenge that I see with that. But is everybody opposed to Fridays? There are lots of head shaking, head nodding. Okay, cool.
What other, so we're saying 4 o'clock works, but it doesn't work. I'm trying to think. So 5 o'clock, do you have any other 5 o'clock days? I know Tuesday is staff meetings. I know Wednesday, I usually block that time off because that's the only time that I do quality time with my own child. But if it's once a month, then I can just say Wednesdays at 5. Do you have is Wednesday at 5 better for anybody, or is it just the 5 o'clock is not good, or 4 o'clock isn't good for any day?
For me, it's the 5 on the dot. Like if we could do 5:30, then that would work for me. That's my personal issue.
Okay.
If we could do Monday, if Mondays works, because then you don't have to change anything for your schedule for Mondays. I would just need to do 5:30 or 5:15. Like 5 on the dot will not allow for me to start a meeting.
Okay.
I can do 5:15 or 5:30 on Mondays, either one of those.
I can do Mondays, but if we do the first Monday, I'd have conflicts with my class. But if we stick with second Mondays, we'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Second Mondays at 5:15 sounds good.
Okay.
That all works for me. Anything around 5 or later.
Okay.
Natalie, does that work for you? Yes. Whitney,
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
Okay. And now we need to determine at which meetings we will allocate time for public comment.
Hey, Principal Missy, you guys, I think you should probably go through those dates because I've had some other schools that were looking at the second Mondays, and there were, I think, some conflicts, maybe just either breaks or something like that.
Yeah,
so just to
October
clarify.
10th.
October 10th is the conflict.
October 10th would be the conflict. That's we'd be, I don't know if it's a teacher work day or
that is a teacher work day. That's a professional learning day.
So,
and
let me see if I see any other ones. September.
I think I call myself checking the calendar before offering up those.
And then I think in January, that second
Martin Luther King
Monday,
it is. No, it's not. The third Monday is Martin Luther King, I thought.
Yeah.
But in January, that would be like your first budget meeting, and principals don't have their budget training until the 19th. So you wouldn't have, like if y'all met, I think like that 9th, you wouldn't have your allocation to discuss it with the team.
For APS scheduling purposes, can we not set a special call meeting for those months where we have conflicts?
Yes, we should be able to.
Well, you can just pick a date now. You see what I'm saying? So just if you know that that's a conflict, just find another date.
Okay.
So for instance, if you were to say we're going to meet on January 9th and vote on that, we already know, that you wouldn't have the information you need to meet. So you might as well just pick a date that will work. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So the next Monday that would be available in the month of January, for example, if the principals aren't going to get their budgets until the 19th, would be the 23rd. But is that enough time for the principal to be able to review whatever needs to be reviewed before it's presented to the Go team, or do we need to push it to the following week?
For the first meeting, you're really just, the principal's just sharing out the allocation, so it's not like a lot of preparation that is required.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, so my suggestion would be to keep it on the same day of the week to try and keep some sort of consistency so that everybody's not having to go through all 30 days of the month on their calendar to try and create some time.
Mm-hmm.
If we're able to just keep it consistent to that day, and recognizing that there are folks who, everybody's got life happening. So you may miss a meeting here or there, and that's okay.
So October 17th and January 23rd at 5:15. And then all the rest second Mondays.
And then are y'all gonna do the second Monday like to June or May or?
Second Monday to May.
What was the November date?
November date is November 14th. We have to have 8 meetings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're definitely meeting that. Okay, how does that sound to everybody?
Fine by me.
Okay, and so the next thing we have to do is decide which meetings we will allocate time for public comment. As a reminder, we must allow for public comment at least 4 times during the school year. Now that we have determined our calendar, may I have a motion to, let's see, no, we need to do that first. Which meetings do we want to allow for public comment? Does anybody remember which meetings had public comment last year? If you were on the team. Does that sound familiar?
I feel like there was a public comment period at every meeting. It was on the agenda because I believe it has to be on the agenda. Unless that for some reason it's tabled for some odd reason, but all of our meetings are open to the public and available for comment, I believe, but no one's ever done so. I mean, in my last year anyway.
It was on the agenda every meeting, but we didn't have any public comments.
Okay. And so so you guys posted the Zoom link and log in to every meeting.
We didn't yes, yeah, it was.
Okay.
The agenda was made public.
Yes. And I want to make sure
that
and
the agenda had the Zoom link and everything in it.
Yes.
Okay. And okay. Okay. All right. You threw me off, Heather. I'm like, what's happening? Who's talking? Okay. So are we saying that we want to have all of the meetings open to public comment? Okay. All right, now that we have determined our calendar, may I have a motion to approve the calendar?
Motion to approve the calendar.
A second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Thank you.
Would the person who seconded that motion mind identifying themselves? I missed the green box.
It was Lakitha.
Thank you.
All right, all opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. All right. All right, now we will determine our Go Team meeting norms. We'll begin by reviewing the initial Go Team meeting norms. This is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. We will be fully present. We will follow the agenda as noticed to the public and stay on task. We will be respectful of each other at all times. We will be open-minded. We will invite and welcome contributions of every member and listen to each other. We will respect all ideas and assume good intentions. We will approach differences of opinion with curiosity. Does anyone have any changes to these norms?
If we added the public comment to each agenda, we might just need to note that it says any members of the public present are here to observe quietly. We might want to make a note that there is a time and protocol for public comment.
Okay. So any members of the public present are here to observe quietly until time for public comment.
I think we might need to say until the floor is open for public comment.
Okay, and so the floor is open for public comment. And then can you just make note of that? And this is a screenshot, so these would need to be retyped. All right, may I have a motion to adopt these norms for our Go Team?
I motion to adopt the norms. I second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions, please say abstain or raise your hand. Okay. All right, sorry, I'm trying to move these little faces. All right. Ms. Gibson, I'm going to have to move to table some of these agenda items or we're gonna be here until 7 o'clock.
Your presentation
is long. I did not realize that it said add data slides as many as you would like. It's a lot.
well, maybe just try to hit the top ones.
Okay, because I do have to leave at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we're going to discuss our enrollment and leveling. So our projected enrollment was 481 students. And After our leveling 15-day count, we were above our enrollment by 3 students at 484. And let's see if you guys can see at the bottom of the screen, this is a screenshot of how it impacted our budget. And so with the extra, we had about $70,000 in reserve. And then there was about $13,000 that was extra from the extra students, and then some money that was carried over. And so with that 91,000, we decided to add a half a point for an EIP teacher. And then we added the other half of the funds to our budget for teaching and other supplies. Any questions about this screen? Okay. All right, so the next screen, I'm going to share the strategic priorities that were created by the team, and I emailed those to you so that you could see them, because I thought that this screen might be a little bit too small. And so this was the strategic plan that was created by last year's GO team. It includes the mission and vision of the district, the cluster, and the school, and then the school priorities. So in the priorities, you see increased student performance in ELA, increased student performance in math, embed a data-driven multi-tier system of support to improve our EL performance, and implement the enhanced IB PYP model with Fidelity. Ms. Gibson, is this open for discussion, or? Because I do know that there are some of the language in the strategies were edited in our continuous improvement plan, so I can kind of talk through that. I'm not sure
you
what
guys,
the process is.
Because the continuous improvement plan is just a plan for this year. So yes, long story short, you guys wouldn't to discuss it, but I guess what you're saying is that you're like crunched for time.
No, that's not what I was saying. What I'm saying is there are some changes. For example, the extended collaborative planning during the school day, we do not have that. We are seeking personnel, and at this time we are not doing that. The language balance literacy framework is not language that is very friendly to the dyslexia community. So that language was altered in our continuous improvement plan. So just things like that are in the plan.
So what I'm saying is that the continuous improvement plan is separate from the strategic plan. So and that's, totally fine. It's normal to, especially, once we have a new school leader, to need to go back and like do those revisions and updates to the strategic plan.
Right.
So yes, you guys would need to have that discussion at the same time. I don't know if you all, because of the hard stop I think some people have, will be able to have that full discussion today. So, it's fine, to just acknowledge that you all are going to have to spend some time updating the plan, and then we can work together to identify like when, will be the best time to do that.
Okay. So team, in our next meeting, in our next GO team meeting, we will discuss the continuous improvement plan. I think it would be very appropriate to kind of lay out the data. And I think that once we go through the data slides, and if it's allowable, I can send you the data slides ahead of time so you can look through them. But once we look through the data slides, I think that really will drive our conversation around the strategic plan and some tweaks. And then and I understand that the strategic plan is separate from the continuous improvement plan. I do believe they all need to be aligned. And so I think that that's just a conversation we need to have all at once. So at this time, go ahead, Ms. Gibson.
Someone in the chat asked if you all could have another meeting before October 17th. And what I was going to say is that you can have a work session specific to, you know, updating the strategic plan. And so, you know, at a work session, you don't have to have a quorum. You know, you're not taking any votes. It's basically just time dedicated specifically to, like if you guys wanted to just kind of go through that deeper data presentation and then make those strategic plan updates, you could do that at that time.
Okay. So I'm sure we can. So what is the next step? Do we have to determine that next meeting or?
Right. So that would be up to the team to decide if you all want to, you know, schedule the work session to, you know, have that conversation about the strategic plan and the data.
Okay. And is there any, Natalie, can you give some more context and if the difference between discussing it all together with the continuous improvement plan versus discussing it in separation?
The difference would be, so your continuous improvement plan is really pretty much like your focus for this year. And so that's, you know, pretty much set. As far as your strategic plan and making those updates to that plan, you, you know, would have more flexibility. And because the strategic plan, you know, the Go team owns that, then the team would also have more input on, you know, what the strategic plan looks like. And once that's set and approved by the team, and that has to take place by December, then next year when you're developing your continuous improvement plan, you're gonna pull from your strategic plan as far as what you wanna focus on in that continuous improvement plan. So when you share out your continuous improvement plan, that's just more of an information piece, right? That's not necessarily, you know, there's less discussion about the continuous improvement plan. Am I making sense?
You are. Does the strategic plan have to be done in the next few weeks, or is that something that we can have a work session with before December?
You could do your next meeting and, you know, share out about your continuous improvement plan, and then have the work session for the strategic plan after that.
Okay, that would be my preference. All right, I will let the team weigh in on timing.
I think the window is too narrow between now and the next meeting because of the fall break to get the work session in before. So I'm more inclined to go with the option that was just mentioned, to have the share out about the continuous improvement plan in the meeting, work session for the strategic plan after.
I agree with Fanning.
Okay, Ms. Gibson, is it, so I just want to clarify, can I table the data and show the data at the next meeting?
If you would like to, yeah. But I guess your next meeting might be a little bit longer because there's, you know, stuff you have to share out at that meeting too, but that's up to you.
Okay, that's all I'm trying to understand. Okay, well.
But maybe what might be helpful is if you send this deck to the team, so that way they'll have a chance to, you know, maybe look through it, and, you know, then that might help you go a little bit, not faster, you know what I mean? But people will have an opportunity to get that background prior to you all's next conversation.
Okay. All right, team. I move that we table the remaining points of data to our next meeting. And I will send that this data slide deck to you so that you can see it. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay. Any nays? Oh, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. And any nays? And any abstentions? If so, please say abstain. All right, does anyone have any announcements? Okay, the GO team would like to remind all GO team members that they must complete their orientation training in order for our school's GO team to be in compliance. And please contact them if you have any questions. We have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? May I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions, please say abstain or raise your hand. All right, friends, this meeting is adjourned.
Happy birthday, Ms. Carlos. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Good evening.